I'm Ryan.
And we decided to channel our energy while trapped in quarantine to give you the definitive ranking of the Kingdom Hearts worlds. A list that you probably never asked for.
But you need. Maybe.
Full disclosure, we know nothing about games.
But we are experts in Kingdom Hearts. Sort of. World by world, we're going to make you fall in love with the game again.
And also with us.
Maybe. So let's escape into the beautiful Disney worlds of Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
A podcast.
A podcast. Arabian Nights, Arabian Days. It's Agrabah Day.
It's the best day of the year. I've been looking forward to this day for, pretty much since we started this podcast.
Is that true? Do you love... Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it Agrabah or Agrabah?
I always... I wish I knew the word for the vowel sound, but I would say Agrabah.
Agrabah.
Agrabah. Like it's all ah.
I think me, the white American, I'm like, Agrabah.
I mean, my mom has a very thick Iowa accent. When she says her name is Ann, it's like, hi, I'm Ann. So I imagine it would be like, Agrabah.
Agrabah.
Oh, I love Iliadin.
Iliadin and Jasmine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know that those people were all voiced by white people until I looked up the IMDb, so that wouldn't fly today.
Actually, we did that. I did that earlier this week, and Scott Wanger, the voice of Aladdin, actually went to my high school.
Yeah, you didn't overlap, did you?
Certainly no. He was like in his late teens when the movie came out in the early 90s. That
makes sense. Is he doing much now?
We haven't kept in touch. I know that he was the boyfriend, DJ's boyfriend on Full House. Whatever, I forget his name. I think it's like something White.
I was never a Full House person, so that reference went right over my head like a flying carpet.
Wow. And that brings us back. This is a world, I will say, that if I had never played the game before would be incredibly impossible to do without a guide.
I 100% agree, because I had this in my mind. Because, Brooke, my surprise for you was, I sent you a picture of my beautiful spaghetti squash with homemade air-fried tofu. By homemade, I just mean, and I said, I need an hour. Brooke. It's going to take me an hour to eat this.
I know. I was wondering why. Okay.
I prevaricated. I told a lie. I wanted, because earlier today, I did the Phil Cup and I got to Agrabah. I did not want to record this podcast, even though I had very recently beat Agrabah. I did not want to record it without finishing the level. So I asked myself, Ryan, can you eat this spaghetti squash and tofu and beat all of Agrabah in 1 hour?
And?
Brooke, the answer is hell yes, you can!
Oh my God! Wait, that's actually crazy. There are a lot of steps to Agrabah. I feel like I will... I don't know what I was expecting. You really took me on a journey there. Wow, you really did. Wow, that's funny that you say that, because I feel like I spent at least 15 minutes swimming from room to room in the Cave of Wonders just to figure out where I needed to go. So honestly, major props to you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Real quick on the room situation. I just realized that when you're swimming from room to room, Sora, Aladdin, Goofy, Donald, whoever's in your party can swim up a waterfall.
Yeah.
I repeat, up a waterfall. Yet in Atlantica, you need mermaid kick to go down a little tunnel of sea wind. I think you have to. I think we can cross this sea bridge when we get to it in Atlantica, because I think that the rules might change with the wind turrent, the turrets
the tunnels, and also like you know, the rules of the sea go their own way.
Okay, you can go your own way in the sea.
Wait, the Phil Cup is so hard.
I'm so glad you agree because it's embarrassing. I remember the Phil Cup being like easy breezy.
No.
Got to Agrabah this morning and I was like, oh, I don't have gravity and I want to use it on all the fat bandits. Sorry, not fat bandits.
No, they're called
large bodied.
They're called fat bandits.
But this is not. Remember, Final Mix was before the Body Beautiful movement.
Well, let's call them fat bandits, but spell it PHAT because they're like cool bandits. You know,
they are. Yes, very good. Yes, I appreciate
they're
that.
They're fat bandits.
They're hip. They're with it. They've got swords. They spit fire. But I wanted gravity because the fat bandits are quite difficult unless you get to knock out half of their health with just a nice large orb of gravity. And I started the level and I was like, this isn't going to work. I'll just knock out the Phil Cup real quick before work. And it was not quick.
I don't really use gravity that much. Except in my everyday life, because obviously it keeps me tethered to the earth that spins in space. But
you're actually a full-time user of gravity, and it's time you acknowledge it.
Hi, my name is Brooke Wiseman, and I use gravity.
I'm shook that you don't use gravity because it is my bread and butter.
Well, I guess my question for you is, what do you use magic that aren't in your 4 shortcuts? Because I simply don't.
I simply do not either.
Because if I can't triangle, circle, square, or exit, it's out for me. It may as well not exist. So then my follow-up question for you is, what are your 4 shortcut magic spells, Mr. Magic?
Thank you for calling me by my name. I would say, now that I have every spell except for Stop, which comes in Monstro, which is the next episode, stay tuned. I'm a Triangle Thunder, Square Gravity, X Cure kind of guy. That's who I am.
Wow.
What kind of magic gal are you?
I am a Triangle Cure. Wait, I need to think about the controller. It's X on the bottom, triangle on top, square on the side. So I think I do X Thunder, Triangle Cure, and then circle fire or arrow, especially game 1 arrow.
That's so interesting. So, okay, you have to pick one, fire or arrow. Which one's going in your customize?
Well, it switches. I can switch it. Probably fire. In Agrabah, probably fire. No, I don't know. I don't remember. I died a lot in Agrabah. That's why I'm like, I certainly couldn't have beat it in an hour, especially not on expert mode.
Well, I don't want to,
Yes, no, please, flexible.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it's my favorite world. I love it. I'm about to wax poetic about how perfect it is because I was thinking about all the things we could talk about today as I was playing I was really evaluating the world. I was evaluating the world to see if it was as good as I thought it was. And we'll discuss the challenges, the thrills, the
unbelievable sights. Would you say that it took you wonder by wonder? Would you say that it took you over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride?
I was feeling indescribable feelings.
Every moment, red letter.
My question for you is, do you trust me?
Wow. I mean, I think we've spoken about this before, but...
You want to fuck Aladdin?
I want to fuck Aladdin.
I thought about it the whole time. Really.
Tell me that my college boyfriend doesn't look like someone drained the blood out of Aladdin because he's very pale.
Yes, I agree.
I can't believe I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you beat this in an hour. There's just so many things you have to do. You have to go to market. You have to go to the Cave of Wonders. You have to beat the Cave of Wonders face, which was surprisingly hard for me. And then the Cave of Wonders is very confusing, I think.
I thought that I would not be able to beat the world. I knew the layout of the world. I knew the tasks in my head. Not using a guidebook, just because it's a world that I've probably played it at least double-digit times. The thing that I thought was going to get me is you have to fight 4 bosses in this world. 4, which is part of the reason why I think it's one of my favorite worlds. You have
4?
4.
Okay, Jafar, the Cave of Wonders face. Who are the other 2?
Well, you have Jafar. You have Genie Jafar.
Oh,
He goes into the lava pit, which is unbelievably scenic. Probably one of my favorite locations.
It's one of my favorite boss battles, and I think it's also one of my favorite boss battles from Chain of Memories.
Yeah, it's actually harder in Chain of Memories, I think.
Yeah.
Really struggled with it because you just have to mash.
It's all about Iago.
All about Iago. The other boss that we can't forget, and it's a legit boss because it gets the da-na-na-na-na-na-na music. The pot centipede.
Oh, sure. I have to make a confession. So for those of you who are just joining us, one of the rules or the stipulations that I have while playing this round is that I'm not allowed to look at a guide, something that I usually spend a lot of time doing when playing Kingdom Hearts. But when it has been a minute since I've played Agrabah because I'm later in the game in my playthrough, and I was trying to just like look up some of the cutscenes just to be prepared for today. And there's a secret boss. And then I found out accidentally that there's a whole slew of secret bosses that I had no idea about. And I'm curious if you knew about them.
Okay, I'm going to list what I think all of them are.
Let me pull up the list of secret bosses because I certainly wouldn't be able to be like, yeah, that's them.
Okay, there's 2 in Agrabah.
There's only one in Agrabah.
No. There's Kurt Zisa, who won a contest. He lives in New York, and there was like, submit your name and we'll turn you into a boss. So a guy named Kurt Zisa submitted his name and became the boss in the sands of the desert in Agrabah. So number 1. And then number 2, if you go back, I think it might be after you beat Hollow Bastion. There's something called the Pot Scorpion that exists outside the palace gates where you start to fight the Pot Centipede.
Kurt Zisa is the one that I was referring to. And that story is crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a real dude. He's probably still living his life. Let me see if I can find him on Facebook. And then there is the Phantom in Neverland at the Clock Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Halloween Town. There's the Experiment, right?
No, that might be 2. No, there's Zem. You fight Zemnis in Hollow Bastion.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The Ice Titan, Sephiroth. Okay.
Okay, sorry. It's called the Chimera in Halloween Town.
Oh, I think okay. It might be Chimera, like chimerical. No, I'm serious. It's probably because it's probably like a phantom like thing that highly unrealistic, wildly fanciful. Okay, well, what a great transition, Ryan. Could you please sing the Agrabah theme song for me?
I'm not saying it's constantly on repeat in my mind, but yes, I'm ready. Could you count me in?
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Inspired. Definitely getting me in the mood for Monstro, a new tone for us this round. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm ever really in the mood for Monstro, but
I mean,
if those sultry low notes can get you in the mood for Monstro, I can do anything.
Okay, so of those 4 bosses, who's your favorite? This is really, I feel like, just me like holding space for you to talk about Agrabah, which I'm totally cool with.
Thank you, because we all have that one world. Yours is Hollow Bastion. Mine is this. I mean, Detour on Iago is about game 2 and how ridiculous the entire Agrabah plot line is. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this? It's like Iago's turned nice, and then the entire thing is...
Yes. That happens in Return of Jafar. That follows the trajectory and plot of the Aladdin trilogy.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. It just seems very not in keeping with the message of Kingdom Hearts, where it's like, trust your better angels, trust that people are good, find the light. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm gonna hop in because I really the Jafar boss. I realized, because in my memory, in my chain of memories, I thought that you didn't go. I forgot that you go to the Cave of Wonders in game 1. I thought you only did in game 2. So I was like super hyped that we were going into the desert. And I remember like going into, I remember being much more lost than I was this round. And I think maybe because I was paying closer attention to the like cutscenes that are just bubbles. And so it's kind of like more clear. They like it, they begin to be like, maybe you should go here to look for this. And it's like, oh, I can go there to look for this. But I definitely like spent a couple times where I was like going back and forth in Aladdin's house being like, I know I'm supposed to talk to something, but there's nothing here. But I love, the Jafar boss battle is like really aesthetically pleasing. It's not that hard. Both of them. Like he's not a very difficult. I feel like it's like, he's like Ursula light. It's like a very similar attack series. I feel like you're doing similar fighting, but it's much more accessible and beatable. I think I like Agrabah a lot.
100% same. And I think part of what makes it so good is the way it starts and the way it's plotted. I was thinking a lot about this because, like you said, we have so many great bosses in so many aesthetically pleasing spaces. But you start off and Maleficent is in town. She's walking through the streets of Agrabah with Jafar, and it gives kind of a nice little kick to the plot. You've got the big bad in the world, which, Maleficent doesn't just show up anywhere.
She certainly does not.
Very selective about who she hangs out with, at least in the first game. The later ones, she'll just, cahoot with anyone. But yeah, I mean, there's the first part where you have to kind of hop around and try to open different gates. Mm-hmm. That's sort of the triggery cutscene thing of, you got to go to a certain place and then you got to go up to Aladdin's house before you can fight the pot centipede. And that's a little, I wouldn't say it's pedantic like Wonderland, but they're starting to trust you now. They're starting to say, hey, you understand the way this game works. You understand you need to go certain places to trigger a cutscene. And it's not like the flowers in Wonderland where it's like, give me an ether and I'll unlock this. Or Sora has to say, I wonder if this unlocks something. Mm-hmm. You just go around Agrabah, you find the keyholes, you unlock them, you jump through the opened gates.
Sorry, you plug them up. Don't forget, we plug up.
I was about to reference that. I was like, to quote Mr. Matt Dial, our Ansem Report person. Also, Brooke, I have a confession that I just did.
What?
I found Kurt Zisa on Facebook.
Did you message him?
I did.
I knew you. I fucking knew it.
He lives in New York. I think it's the same Kurt Zisa. It's a picture of him and a child. And I sent the message, hi, Kurt. I'm one of the hosts of a Kingdom Hearts podcast.
Oh,
if this is a miss, please ignore me. But are you the namesake for the KH boss, Kurt Zisa?
Oh, my God. Ryan, I can't wait to hear what happens with that.
If he will speak, do you think he deserves an interview? An Ansem report?
I mean, if he consents, absolutely. I want to know when this competition was, what it was like, what did it entail, what did he have to submit? I want to know everything.
Could you imagine if there's like a Kingdom Hearts boss in Hollow Bastion? It's just like, oh, we found the secret passage and now we're fighting the Brooke Wiseman.
I know, it's like we're not all blessed with names like Kurt Zisa. Like Kurt Zisa is a cool ass name. Brooke Wiseman is like not. I don't exist in this world, in this universe. There's nothing exotic about my name.
Actually, I kind of disagree. If there was a Pocahontas world, I feel like
the white man. You could be I feel like that's where you would be, Ryan Bernstein. Especially imagine okay. So I'm looking at Kurt. You've seen a photo of the actual Kurt Zisa, we think, correct?
I believe so.
So I'm looking at the heartless Kurt Zisa. Now, for those of us who are listening, it looks like sort of a platypus type animal, obviously in metal, wearing sort of a loincloth like banana hammock flag. He has I want to say like hook feet, and then 1, 2, 6 arms with different weapons. So one has a sword, one has like more of a round blade, and okay, so there's 2, maybe 3 that have weapons, and 3 that are sort of just like claws. Very small waist. So My question,
Skinty.
skinty, cinched for the gods. My cue is if you, Ryan Bernstein, were to become a secret boss, what world would you be in? And what do you think you would look like?
Holy shit. Brooke, can you answer this first? Because that's a big question. And I just want to say, I was thinking Brooke because like your name is like a body of water. That's why I said Pocahontas. Like you'd be
Oh, a water heartless.
yeah, like
Okay.
and a wise.
I think that I'm in Atlantica.
Yeah, that feels right.
I think you have to come back to Atlantica after you lock Hollow Bastion, which seems to be like the theme. And I think I exist in sort of the well, I'm either like where Ursula's cauldron is, or I'm in front of the Triton's palace. Like I'm in that like where the White Trinity is. I'm like in the like not the throne room, but the room right before it. But I kind of am leaning towards the Ursula one because it's purple. But I'm leaning also towards the Triton one because I want to be closer to Daddy. So I'm gonna
Daddy Triton.
I'm gonna be closer to Daddy. I'm gonna choose that, and then I think that if I'm under the water and based on, so I'm probably some sort of like jellyfish thing. I think I have eyes. Do some of them have? Yeah, some of them have eyes. Like I think I have the same like general aesthetic as like the mushrooms in Wonderland, but a jellyfish. That's all I got right now. Obviously, I have more limbs because I'm some sort of jellyfish, and I change color. That's all.
Damn. That's good.
My advice to you as you go through with this is just stream of consciousness and you'll get there.
Okay, well, I'm torn between an aesthetic and a location. Which one should I start with?
Location.
Okay. My location is in the keyhole that you fight the behemoth in because it's just like sort of a colorful space.
So you're in the like world beyond the world at world's end. I think it's what it's called, right?
Yeah, I mean it's in Hollow Bastion in the like big lab.
Yes.
Like the synthetic keyhole.
I'm with you.
That you go in and it's like right after you fight Riku. And I feel like I'd be some sort of like, you know, the way you fight the thing that is the environment in the Beauty and the Beast world,
yes.
The like chandelier that takes over the ballroom. I feel like I'd be like a shape-shifting tornado mime.
I was going to say, if you don't say mime, I'm going to be very upset.
Brooke, I was going with mime. I was like, does that belong in Wonderland? Where does the mime fit in here?
You could be anywhere. Wow. Because I also think a mime could be in Traverse Town.
I mean, yes. At quality of life, there's better, I think.
I like where you are in your little, wow.
I like the idea of a boss that you walk in a room that you're used to walking in and you sort of start to notice it's not quite what you remember it being. And there's like different things about it. And then all of a sudden, like you go to interact with something you usually interact with. And then the room turns out to be like you're inside of a heartless that's like a chameleon for the room. And then you have to like fight the mime tornado room.
The mime tornado room. Wow, I'm glad we did that.
Me too. That's a great. You're just there's a trick master and there's a question master, and you are the question master.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I hope that people don't loathe me as much as I loathe the trick master.
No, you're not you're the question master is always a thing you're happy to see. The trick master, ever since they changed the colors, is dead to me.
Oh, so. I guess I keep saying my follow-up question. Per our last conversation, are there any glaring color shifts from in the final mix that you noticed in Agrabah?
Okay, this is I'm gonna keep. Am I going to do this? I am going to keep complaining about this throughout.
I literally just baited you, so
it's going to get tiresome. I will say Agrabah is the only world where the final mix color updates are an improvement.
Wow, is that part of why do you think you love it so much?
I think so. It's just like the original colors in the original Kingdom Hearts. They feel like they're a part of the environment. Like they sort of color coordinated with the rest of the world. And now they're throwing in just gaudy, awful colors that don't make sense. And they're throwing in like little texture things on the Heartless. They're throwing in like lime greens in.
Yeah, disgusting.
You know, yeah, it's just, I don't know why they did it. And it makes me really mad. And the guard armor, it should be purple. It breaks my heart to this day.
Yeah, that one really stuck with you, huh?
It really does. Because I fought it over 100 times when I was young, and it's probably the first piece of adversity I ever encountered in my life. So,
Wow, let's just take a moment to let that marinate.
you never forget your first adversity. So
truly, the college has common apps around the world.
That's what I wrote my Common App essay about.
the final Kingdom Hearts final mix.
And that's how I got into Northwestern, because it was purple.
Yeah, you were like,
go Cats.
Go Cats. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, Brooke, I do. How long ago did you do Agrabah?
I would say probably like 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Did you ever have a moment while Aladdin was in your party? I'm assuming he was in your party.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, he has to be in your party if you want a boo to get called, but
That's if you want a booty call, yeah.
A boo to call. Hey, Stone Monkeys, you up?
Hey.
Was there ever a moment when Aladdin was in my party
that you found yourself like turned on by something he said, something he did in a cutscene? Did you ever like have that moment, a stirring, if you will?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you think of a specific moment?
I think anytime I hear him be like, Jasmine, I really like there's something about the way that he says that. And when he frees the genie, it's just so sexy. Emancipation, liberation, freedom for genies.
Fun fact, the guy who is the voice of Genie in this video game, Dan Castellaneta, voice of Homer Simpson, I was in a musical that he wrote.
Wow.
When I lived in LA.
Look at us.
And so I
having connections to Aladdin and Kingdom Hearts. Our hearts really are connected. Okay.
I have to say, there was a moment in Agrabah where Aladdin did something very sexy that I thought would get to you.
Tell me.
And it is after he frees the genie. He sort of like smiles up at the genie and he runs his hand through his hair. And by runs his hand through his hair, I mean like his
I know exactly.
Animated.
I can picture it.
Like he doesn't like his hand just goes into his hair.
Great hair.
Yeah, it's not like his hair is just a giant black, shape, and his hand just sort of like a ghost disappears in and out of it.
Yeah.
But it was very sexy. The effect was effective.
It worked. How did you feel being around Jafar? Because I feel like we've discussed you have significant Jafar energy. What was it like?
Okay, you've said I have Maleficent energy. You've said I've had Jafar energy.
I know, but I think about the way that you walk.
My curly shoes.
Yeah, the cape and the goatee. There's just something about it. Your weird pet bird named Diago. I don't know what it is.
I will say I did identify with Jafar while we were playing. While we were fighting Jafar, he like taunts you and laughs at you in a funny way, and then he'll just like fly away from you like a little coward, which I identified with. Also, if you cast gravity on him, which is my bread and butter, as I said, like this orb will form around him, and I'm not sure if it's helping him or hurting him, which feels like sometimes an orb of something forms around me. It could be, excitement for life. And I'm not sure if it's helping me or hurting me. So I identify with that.
Wow. I love that. Okay.
Thank you.
Now I'm ready.
Okay. Me too.
I would say I'm going to give Agrabah a 9. We haven't talked about this, but I love in the Cave of Wonders, the calling of Abu, the booty calls, if you will. I liked that aspect of it. I like how pretty it is. I like how many different rooms there are. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, so I was really happy to be there. I'm taking points away because I find the market, the bazaar like section of the game to be a little bit confusing, and I found myself frustrated probably because I don't have glide yet. There were just certain things that I just couldn't access, and I was like, I feel like I should be able to do this, and I'm projecting onto Agrabah, and I acknowledge that. Also, the Cave of Wonders halls, I really like the swimmy rooms, the dark rooms, the hidden rooms, the mysterious rooms, the gold rooms, and then all the Jafar spaces. But I'm not into the halls. I feel like everything is so beautiful, and that is not actually what I imagine the Cave of Wonders to look like on the inside until we are in the gold and in the swimmies. And then I wish that the escaping from the Cave of Wonders was more of a thing. that you got to actually like do? Because I feel like you sort of steer, but not really. And maybe I'm just a confession time from me. One of the games that I have played in my childhood was the Super Nintendo Aladdin game, and it's a classic. And so I think I'm just, to me, that's my Agrabah, you know? So nothing will ever compare to that. And if anyone knows what I'm talking about, Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, Abu. And if you know what that means, nice. But that's my that's mine.
I feel like, you know, that scene in a movie where, you know, a director's sitting in an audition and someone comes in and just blows their mind and they can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
That force of nature. That's what you just did for me. Okay. I've got two numbers in mind. One was very affected by what you had to say. So I'm going to say all the good things about Agrabah. I think the presence of Maleficent, as I said, adds a real narrative drive to it. Jafar is a very active villain in this world, as opposed to some of the other villains that are sort of more aloof. I'm looking at you, Oogie Boogie, that you don't see till the final confrontation. Jafar is around, and you know, and we start off with a pretty intense scene. We need to rescue Aladdin from a quicksand sinkhole. And it's very clear where you're meant to go. And even when it's unclear, unlocking keyholes, there's sort of something intuitive about it. You're supposed to explore the world. You see a keyhole. There's a gate that's locked. You sort of get into your head, I know what I'm supposed to do. Then we kidnap Jasmine. We fight the pot centipede, which is actually a very good boss. And I love that it sort of smashes through all the debris being stored between the different, you know, the bazaar, the alley, the main street. So you really are fighting this boss in all of Agrabah. And I love a boss in a good location. You know that about me.
Yes.
So that's a great boss. And then we have the Cave of Wonders, probably the hardest boss, I would say, in the world.
Yeah.
The entire world.
All the world.
I spent a lot of time.
Spanning all of them? Or just Agrabah?
In the world. Just Agrabah.
Oh,
no,
I was like, okay, well, Ursula has some words for you.
So yeah, that's very hard. I spent a lot of time at the nape of the neck, falling off the nose, getting body slammed by the bandit Heartless. So that's hard, but very fulfilling. Died quite a few times on that. I do agree with you. The world is so beautiful, especially when you're in the desert and the wind, the shifting sands. You get into the hall, the bottomless hall in the Cave of Wonders. It's a little pedestrian.
It's dull.
I love the underground. It's dull. That's the perfect word. Underground, bottomless hall, more like bottomless dull.
Nice.
Thank you. And it makes me think of how in Kingdom Hearts 2, we return to the Cave of Wonders, and it's a little more psychedelic, a little more, you know, you're like falling through space. I don't know if you remember this. There's a lot of...
Yes.
There's a lot of like magic in it, which I don't really feel in this. But of course, you get to the treasure room. You get to the confrontation room with Jafar, where the keyhole is revealed.
You plug it up,
and then it's a beautiful boss fight, conjuring the ice storm in the middle. Love that. And then we have the underground lava factory, I will call it.
Sure.
A very thrilling boss battle. And we have the escape after Jasmine is kidnapped. And with the escape, I agree with you, could be a lot more exciting. That's where we get the Cave of Wonders from the movie, the one we recognize, the very escape Aladdin did. I did notice, though, I barely had to move
at all.
My controller.
I know.
It just sort of just lets you right out. It lets you slide right out of there without any ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that's giving me something to consider. You do get a great villain cutscene with Hades and Maleficent, and Maleficent has moved right on from Jafar, and now she's with Hades, but Riku is there. And I want to play this clip for you, maybe as the closing clip, because it's a really interesting development of their relationship. My final rating for this, and I'm between two numbers, but one is a 0.5 and one is a even number. Can I do a 0.75?
Yeah, I almost did a 0.25, so.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 9.75.
Okay.
It is so close to perfect, and I know I gave Traverse Town a 10 last time for part 2, but it's Traverse Town, you know, it's timeless, it's wonderful, and we're trying to create a ranking, and I would say that Agrabah is the gold standard for a Kingdom Hearts world.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But it's not quite perfect.
No.
I feel like Traverse Town is held to a different standard than a Disney world. So I'd say 9.75 for Agrabah. One of my all-time favorites. Could use a little sprucing up.
So Ryan, I guess the only thing left to do is roll the clip.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for this?
Vizier could have had him if someone had stuck around to give him a hand. Hey, I did my part. I brought the princess, didn't I?
Jafar was beyond help, consumed by his own hatred. One should beware of letting it burn too fiercely.
Whoa, what now? I'm as cool as they come, okay? By the way, kid, have we got something special for you?
Huh?
We had a deal, yes? You help us, and we grant you your wish. Hurry, go to her. Your vessel is waiting.
Just remember, this is no pleasure cruise. It won't be a pleasant voyage.
Captain Hook.
Why are you doing all this for me? What's the catch?
Catch? What's the catch? Silly boy. You're like a son to me. I only want you to be happy.
I seriously doubt that.
Believe what you wish. But lest we forget, I kept my end of the bargain.
Damn.
Well, that wraps up this week's World. Thanks for listening.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you're looking to connect our heart, follow us on Instagram at KingdomHearts_pod. And if you want to enter the realm of darkness that is our lives, follow us. I'm at Brooke Wiseman.
And I'm at Rye Bernstein. See you next week with another Kingdom Hearts World and Kingdom Hearts ratings.
Kingdom Hearts,
Kingdom Hearts.
the podcast.